Hello, Year 3s.
Hello.
Hi, Year. Whoa.
So tell us, what have your highlights been of the last 3 years?
I think it's just been like the community of, been really good year group, and then also just the fun of meeting all the other year groups and the amazing youth workers that we get to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess likewise, like the culture of family, the culture of worship, and just wanting to, I guess, grow in God and help us to be people who, like, I guess, want to show that culture to our young people in our different places where we're at. So yeah, that's been a highlight for me.
Yeah, I would say the times of worship and the talks have been a real highlight, impacted me a lot, and just the friendships that I'm going to leave here with that'll last.
I've loved the in like the lectures and the learning, we often are like applying it to our own placements, so it's not just like, oh, here's a cool concept, but we all like chat about how we're actually going to do this, and there's been legitimate times where I've actually like changed stuff because of it, and seen God move, so the practical stuff's been really cool.
Yeah, I've loved how in class, like, we've learned about other people's church placements and like what their culture is like and what they're experiencing and how we can learn from each other, and we share what we're going through in class, and like we get to learn from each other, which has been really fun.
I mean, getting to see just all the work God's actually doing throughout the entirety of the UK instead of just our own placements, getting to see just the sheer amount of youth work going on throughout Scotland, England and everywhere else, that it's just truly cool to be able to come into a community where that's so prominent and to see that.
I think for me it's a sense of community, and when we're here it's just not how we are when we're here. People are concerned about what we're like in our placements as well.
And what would be the one thing that you took away from this time?
I know for me it is intentionality. So in everything I do when it comes to working with young people in ministry, to actually think about, why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? What is God's heart for these people that I'm with, and not just kind of doing things carelessly. That has been such a huge game changer for me in this degree, intentionality.
I think for me it's the kind of, we're not alone. Sometimes in youth ministry it can feel like, oh, we're the only one in the church who is this age and has this heart for young people, but then we're surrounded by a community who have that similar heart and just have such a passion and a vision, and just we're not alone in that. It's just amazing.
I guess also it's like that heart to multiply. Speaking of like discipleship, it's like building that legacy of passing it on to young people who then go and, or any other people, man, unless they just be young people, but people who will then try and disciple others and help them to grow in their faith with God. Is something likewise with what Cassie in terms of intentionality. I think that's something that I've definitely taken on. I want to develop more.
Discipleship's important. Yes.
And then if there was someone that you knew who's thinking about doing the degree, what would you say to them?
Do it.
I mean, if God's telling you to do it, stop fighting it and just get here.
Yes.
Get yourself here.
I think it's one of the best degrees because, like Emily said, like everything that we learn is applicable to ministry. It's not like you're learning about theology and it's irrelevant, but actually it's so relevant. And we pray before we do presentations, we worship together. You know that if you're struggling with a certain topic that we're going into, that actually you're going to be supported, that you're allowed to explore it, that there's a lot of grace here and we're a family, and why wouldn't you want to explore the difficult topics around your family? Like it's really fantastic.
I would say something I love about this degree is that you're not just stuck in a classroom, isolated from the world while the world goes by. Your week to week is serving your church, working with young people, sharing the gospel, and I think that's how it's meant to be. Like you can really live all out for Jesus while you do this degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say think about it really seriously, because if you do it, God will really change your life.
Yeah.
Because he won't just change what's happening on the outside in what you're doing, the cool things you've thought about with youth work or the training side. Like, he's changing you on the inside so that you can then make a difference on the outside. So think about it, because God will do big things for you. So a warning, but an exciting outcome.
Yeah.